Good day, viewers. This is Dr. Makinde, again, the Managing Director of Totsmark Farmer Center. Today, I'm on a farm visit to Menawet Farms, and I will want him to introduce the MD. Of course, I want him to introduce himself. Mr.
Okay.
Grant, let us meet you.
Okay, nice meeting you, Dr. Makinde. So, my name is Grant Onedo. I'm actually a pharmacist by training. I was also the executive director of marketing for GSK for a couple of years.
Wow.
So when I went into farming, people, started asking, what are you doing in farming? Why didn't you go into your pharmacy, having shops, getting franchise, But I said no. One of the things, that even if you go through motivational speakers, learn how to do what you like doing, pastime. If, for instance, if you look at footballers, they play football, they enjoy doing it, and they make money. And also musicians, So, for instance, if you're a musician, don't go and play football. You understand what I'm trying to do? Yeah. So, when I was about to leave, I had my plan. Since maybe, interestingly, I was one of the only, child of my dad that stayed with my grandmother. So then I used to go to farm, all these goats around house and go.
The environment
So I
you.
developed, likeness, into farming. So I started 2010, although I left GSK 2017. So I started this place 2010 thereabout, We started with the first pen, which is about 1,500, So when I left GSK, I just said, yeah, farming, here I come. This is what I love doing. So anytime I come to the farm, I leave, kind of rejuvenated, Then livestock, we also have piggery, although the African swine.
Wait, there's something you said that interests me. You said you started this business while you were still working.
Yeah.
I think that makes a lot of sense because most people is only when they have, maybe after they are retired, they're not thinking of what they do. I think that really helps.
Yes.
So how did you come about that while you were still working?
So one of the things, people should learn how to go through maybe YouTube, motivational, what have you. They tell you, the day you join any organization, start planning for your retirement. Don't wait until you're about to retire or you have retired. You get confused. What do I do? And time value of money. The money is going. But if you started, you will have made a lot of mistakes.
You must
have learned, So I'll tell you, I learned a lot. I'm not, for instance, like I said, I'm not a farmer. We made a lot of mistakes here. But I learned within that period. So that actually guided me. So when I left, I had a direction. So what I tell people nowadays is that, look, whatever you're doing, if you are still in the paid employment, start thinking about your retirement. Don't wait until you retire. Oh, I want to go into property business. Oh, because you see, you are no more in that monthly paid something. So that fear is counterproductive. Oh, because for instance, you take the old Chika, DOC. It takes 6 months, 7 months.
Definitely.
So you can imagine if you retire 7 months, you will be worried,
Especially when you're putting your boards and this.
Particularly if you look at the economy right now, that is only God knows. So that is the advice I will give, to people. So within that period, I learned a lot. Even from the staff, from the staff you employ, stealing, pilfering, everything. So I learned all this. I went through that tutelage.
Let's talk about your poultry farming experience. Of course, as I'm seeing your farms, I can see quite a number of pens. You started gradually.
Sure.
What was the highest capacity you've ever got into?
We got to about 11,000, 12,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you started with just
1,500.
Wow.
In fact, the truth is, the capacity was 1,500, but I started with 350 beds. So gradually, the first time I saw those eggs, Oh, I was elated. And I broadcast, there's what you call broadcast. So I put it in WhatsApp. I told my wife to broadcast to your friends. I started getting orders. But that's the truth. We started with about 351,500 there. Then we built this pen 2. I have about 4 pens now, pen 1, pen 2, pen 3, pen 4. So we started, like that. I also tell people, don't jump 100% into anything.
Yeah. It's better to start gradually.
Gradually. And learn.
Learn.
And build upon your mistakes. Be resilient, consistent, There will be challenges. Don't run away. Some people will jump here, they run away, jump here. Focus, learn.
You just said something now. You said there will be challenges.
Yes.
So what are the challenges that you encounter?
Good, good question. Number one is, there's the human angle, there is the bird angle, then there is the market angle. So if I may start from the human angle, stealing, pilfering, that is number one. Yes. Then number two, again, the way you take care of the birds, they are very sensitive.
Yeah.
Now, I can tell you, if I see the poo-poo now, I can tell you that something is wrong with these birds. In those days, my own is, look, let me just come, see eggs, and that's all. But now, if I come in, if I look at the poo-poo, then again, even if you are moving feet to the pen, the way they will react. Yeah. Oh, it tells you they are very
excited that food has come.
So another challenge we had was management of the birds. There was a time we were rearing a day old. We lost about 400 died. And what happened? I've forgotten the name they call it now. What happened was that they said we shouldn't have moved off all the, these wood chips like sawdust. Shavings. I insisted that they should clear everything. It was smelling. They cleared everything and put fresh one. That was all. That was all. So I learned that no, you can do it 50%. You mix it because when you vaccinate, those people they still have some level of antibodies protection.
They can transfer to the birds.
So management of the birds is also very, very key. For instance, when do you give Lasota the vaccines? When do you deworm? When do you give antibiotics if there's anything? You must have that plan in place. So that's another thing I learned. Then with the marketing, those market women. Initially, it was tough really getting them because they will come in. They will tell you then we used to sell at about 800 naira per crate, I remember. So if they call it poulet, I also learned what is called poulet. It's about 600, So with time, they will dictate the price. They will tell you, oh, sorry, we can't buy. It's 700 in the market. Now, one thing I seem to notice is that they are a very strong kind of pressure group. If they come here, particularly in fish and co, immediately you reject them. They have a way of passing the information
across to their colleagues.
They have a way. And they are so strong. They may not come back. Even if they come back, they will insist. So we are at a kind of a mercy, of those farm gate wholesalers. So that's the other challenge. Then, of course, access to money, capital, support. I use my personal money, really, I can tell you.
Okay, are you saying that since you started this farm, you have not gotten like any help from government?
No. The only help I would say is that, okay, maybe I talk to my banks at times. Maybe they will give me 1 month overdraft. And if you look at what you pay on a monthly basis and you multiply it by 12, you are talking about close to about 40%.
But they always talk about this agric bank and all that.
So let me tell you.
Loans for farmers.
There's they tell you about anchor borrowers, what have you. I never had, nobody ever came here on anchor borrowers. There's Bank of Agriculture along, Moson.
In Abeokuta.
Yeah. I always see the building. I've never seen any person from Bank of Agriculture to come and, So those are the issues. Those are the areas government can't step in to help
Exactly.
farmers. Now, I give example on how, if I may, I'm not jumping the gun, you see. One day, a young man came here. He said he was representing a new feed mill. And I said, okay, if I'm a marketer, if I have an opportunity to talk to your MD, this is one thing you can do so it becomes a win-win. You will grow. Because it is we, when livestock beds are there and we are growing, your feed mill will grow, you will mill more. So why don't you create a kind of a system that will benefit farmers? Employ some people, call them agricultural extension officers. Let them go to farms. Let them take data. Now give me like 4,000 beds. Okay? You give it to me. We sign an agreement. I will use your feed. When they start laying, you will be coming. I'll be paying back on a monthly basis. Do the same thing with feed millers. Government should not come in to stand in like a guarantor.
That if this guy fails to pay.
Because there's nothing that is absolute in this world. So out of 100%, if you're able to get 60%, you've succeeded. Now, give another condition. Government, your own benefit. If I'm employing like 4 people, employ 2 additional people, you will have created employment. You will have taken 2 people from the labor market.
Exactly.
So at the end of the day, the feed miller will buy meat from farmers. Farmers will produce more. Eggs will come down because we'll put the cost at the end of the day on what we sell, to people.
Yeah.
So that's what I said. And so that's one of the few ways that the government can actually help with farmers. Yeah. Don't give farmer cash. All those anchor borrowers, you hear people talking about
10 million.
10 million.
We're just hearing it. We're not seeing
news. We see pyramid in Abuja. I'm like, where is the farm? Where is the rice farm? Because it's empirical. If you are putting a pyramid in Abuja, what it means is that between here and Abuja, you will see the farm. So where are the farmers, the rice farmers that you are, taking pyramid from? You understand what I'm saying? So that is what the government can do to help with farmers. This subsidy they are talking about now, channel part of the subsidy to people like you. Okay? Now, I'll sign an agreement with you. If I buy a bag of 7,000 naira, I pay 4,000 naira. Government pays you directly 3,000. It has been subsidized directly. So it's not this one that some people, ghosts, are taking subsidy money.
Taking the money, yeah.
When I came here, I was the first farmer to be all of this place.
This environment.
Yes. At the point in time, we had close about 10, 11, 12 poultry farms. As of today, we are no more than 4.
People are living.
They are selling off, They can cope. They can cope. So, you look at the financial outlay. In those days, we buy a bag at 2,800, right? So now it's about 8,000.
You're right.
So you need additional capital. You need additional money.
The moment you don't have that capacity,
it goes off. And I used to tell my friends that the issue with beds, you can't say engine stop.
No, they have to hit all the time.
I don't have money now. When I have money, restart. No. If they're taking 10 bags, it must be 10 bags, whether you sell or not.
Okay, now with the current state of the price of feed, what do you think should be an ideal price that you think farmers should sell their eggs from the farm gates?
If you do the analysis because I do, before I answer that, let me tell you, a lot of farmers, they don't do.
Exactly.
So there's what is called gross profit, right? Then there's what is called the net profit. So the gross profit is maybe the cost of feed plus minus your sales. Your sales minus the cost of your feed. But there are other costs
that they don't normally
salary.
consider.
Look at my generator, no light. Vitamins, vaccines, salaries to workers and co. If I want to be moderate,
what about the depreciation of the?
you have the replacement cost depreciation.
Yeah.
God bless you, of the beds. The minimum you can sell now is 2,500. At that 2,500, we are just
Still,
we just want everybody, let us just, let's leave. Because okay, let's prorate it. If as at the time we were buying bag at 2,000, maybe 500 or thereabout, we were selling egg at 800. Now bag is 8,000. Prorate it.
that is 4 times.
So it should not be less than even 3,000 naira.
And if you look at 4 times 800, we should be looking at selling egg for 3,000.
200. That's what I said at
So
2,005.
if farmers sell egg for 2,005, it's not bad.
It's not bad. We are also contributing to the subsidy. We are also contributing to the subsidy.
All right, Mr. Grant,
Yes.
you said a lot. Before we go, I just want you to tell viewers in the house, especially other poultry farmers or farmers generally, 1 or 2 advice based on your experience.
Okay, my advice is that they should stick. You see, the basic needs of life, food is number 1. There is a prospect in agriculture. They should stick, they should learn, they should read, they should network with other colleagues to learn, because I do that. I call people. And books keeping is very, very important, because at times when I hear farmers selling eggs at 1,900, I'm like, are they using maybe Chinese magic, I'm serious, so they should do their financial, because that's why a lot of them, because they don't do their financial. When you want to replace, that's when the issue comes in, because they will go old within maximum of 2 years. So you need to replace. That's why a lot of them are falling up.
Wow.
And they should invest their time. They should invest into people also too. Even if it's only 1 or 2 staff, invest. Get somebody that, I have a manager that read agriculture, so I learned a lot of things from him also too. If you really want to go into this kind of business, those are the areas you must invest into, and this is cheap. Go to Google, you will download it and you will read, and that's how I learned.
We even make available
Talk about now. You do these seminars and you invite people. I see it. There was a time I even sent my manager to attend one of the courses. So they should do all those things. Training is not a cost. It's an investment.
Exactly.
Thank
you so much, Mr. Grant. We have been on Menawet Farms for some time now, and we're glad he has been able to share his wealth of experience with us. So if you're interested in farming, just like you said, farming is something, is a venture that cannot die.
Oh, it can never die. We must eat every daily basis.
We have to keep eating.
Yes.
And as Thoughtmark, we are providing supporting services
Sure.
For farmers. We're into chicken feed, veterinary drugs, and the rest. And we have our offices all around. And Mr. Grant is one of our customers, and that's why we're on the farm. To pay him visit and also to listen to his story. I do hope that when next we come, you will have 1 or 2 things to tell us.
Oh, sure.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure, Dr. Wakide. My pleasure, always.